Today. So this is Norji Pareño together with Alicia Sarita, and this presentation will be all about water hyacinth. So water hyacinth is an invasive species, and there were several reports that it is considered to be the most productive plant, one of the most productive plants on Earth, capable of yielding over 200 tons of dry matter per hectare annually under normal conditions. So this is according to the report of imvi.com.ph, and this is commonly known as water hyacinth and scientifically named as Pontederia crassipes. So it originated in Amazon basin from South America, and it was introduced to the Philippines as an ornament to garden ponds. Now it has become a dominant species and can be found or can be seen in Pasig River, Laguna de Bay, and Rio Grande de Mindanao due to its rapid proliferation. So it is now considered as a pest due to its environmental and ecological impacts. And of course, there will be multiple measures to control this invasive species. So we can discuss biological, chemical, and mechanical practices. And to discuss further, let's
Um,
proceed to the next slide.
all right. To better understand the ecological relationships that water hyacinth has in both the abiotic and biotic factors, we've dumbed it down to a concept map. So as you can see here, the water hyacinth extremely proliferates in favorable conditions like good sunlight, exposure, low elevations, nutrient-rich water. But the way that it works is that when it takes in a lot of sunlight, it also becomes a big competition to other vegetations in the environment. When it also takes in a lot of nutrients, it also becomes a competition as well to other underwater vegetations and to its surrounding biotic organisms. Due to its favorable conditions, it increases in growth and abundance. When that happens, it negatively impacts other vegetations as well as animals. However, there is also a somewhat positive effect towards the abundance of water hyacinth. As you know, with water hyacinth and how it it's physically characterized, it has an edge effect due to its matting. Because of this matting, it becomes a habitat, a niche, or even a perching site for egrets, tilapias, eels, and whatnot. However, in terms of the social relevance or how it affects humans, it becomes a somewhat of a negative impact because it becomes difficult for boats to navigate the waterways. It also causes clogging of pipe systems and decreases catchability of other aquatic organisms. So in a way, we're weighing down its negative as well as its positive impacts to the social, economic, and environment. And that being said, we do have photos here that represents the negative as well as a positive side to water hyacinth. As you can see in the left picture, it shows an egret perching on a water hyacinth because water hyacinth has a characteristic of being buoyant. But its buoyancy and matting characteristic also poses an issue for for humans. As you can see here, it becomes difficult for boats and other infrastructures to be able to navigate the waterways. That being said, there are control measures being placed to make sure that the population of water hyacinth is placed into a controlled number.
So there have been multiple attempts to control proliferation of water hyacinths to some extent uh, to eradicate. And we can consider the mechanical control by use of blades in dredging. And of course, we can see it in the rivers of Pasig River, wherein there are floating boats and people from DNR manually removing the water hyacinths. And for biological control, there are two types of weevils have been deployed, grasshoppers and other insects like Neotina bruci were successfully infesting and eating water hyacinth. And for chemical control, the use of herbicides, example, by Peribac and Diquat are being used to control these invasive species. So with that, we thank you for listening and watching our presentation. Have a good day.